Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your man, Jelani JB Bodie, and this is the Wait a Minute Show. Back again in the building, here to talk about sports, right? And some other things, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But there's some stuff we need to cover first, right? Like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, man, to make sure you're sharing each and every episode, right? So everybody can get into mix and make some comments, if you will, right? I mean, people have made comments before, good, some bad, some ugly, but it is what it is. But also, what it is, ladies and gentlemen, I told you, just beware, just be patient. This would happen, and it has, ladies and gentlemen. Running behind the boards once again, my man Big Mo is back in the building. What is up, Big Mo?
What's up, JB? Make sure you tell your audience that I was suspended without pay. I didn't just take a whole bunch of time off, man. So don't be lying to them like that, man. Y'all need to know the truth.
No.
What's up, man?
So if you didn't see it, I told everybody, hey, you handling being an adult, handling some stuff. You're in the Carolinas and everything, and we were gonna let you take your time, man. But I'm glad you're back, right? Had to handle some stuff, but you're back.
It feels good to be back, man. It's been a rough week. Been a rough couple
Yeah,
days.
it's good to
But
have you back.
we surviving down here, man.
Yeah, and shouts out to the people in the Carolina areas, man. They going through some real stuff, man. Not just some my Hulu ain't working or something like that. They dealing with some real stuff. So keep them in your minds. And look, it's look Florida. I was just talking to a family member. They got some stuff about to possibly pop off again. So it's just
They
crazy,
going
man.
through it. They going through it. Pray for your people in Florida. Pray for your people in Western North Carolina because they in a bad way right now. Just keep them prayed up.
Yeah,
Keep them prayed up.
exactly. So Mo is in the building. We got some stuff that we want to talk about, right? And look, I'm just telling you right now. I'm giving you all a heads up. Is that Mo's going to be upset? I'm going to say something. He's not even going to be on the
Sound
screen,
off.
but when I say it, he's going to come back on the screen. So just prepare yourself.
He's
But
just gonna pile on.
no,
Knowing what I've been through, he's just gonna pile on. That's
no,
all
no,
right.
no, 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 no. Why would I
I
do
see you in a
something?
minute.
I know.
I see
Yeah.
you in a minute.
All right, all right. So let's jump into recent news. We're finishing up week 5. We finished up week 5 in the NFL and some takeaways. Right, we had a lot of things going on in the NFL this week, and uh, talked about it a little bit, but we really got to get into it and speak upon it. And that are some teams that we did not have in the position that they are right now. And I'm going to start with the Washington Commanders, right? I had the Philadelphia Eagles winning this division. Obviously, it's not over yet. The season is still early, but no one, except for I think Tim Kalishaw, had the Commanders in this position that they're in right now. So, leading the NFC East with a record of 4-1. Jaden Daniels, they have been bringing him along in this, and Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn, they look like masterminds right now. And it looks like, that they had talent on that team already. It's just they needed a quarterback and maybe, a change in mindset, for that team. So I am very surprised. Now, I'm not surprised that, because I didn't pick the Cowboys, because I've always said with this division, no one ever wins it back to back for probably the last 20 to 25 years. So I knew someone else was going to win this division. I just, was talking about the Eagles. And again, it's still early, but you got to give props. To me, it is a shocker that the Commanders are doing the things that they're doing now. But props to the Commanders. Let's keep it positive. I'm not going to hate on them. I'm not going to drop no poo emoji on them right now. They're doing what needs to be done, and the other teams in this division is not. Speaking of teams doing what they need to do in their division, another team, uh, the Jets. Come on, man. Come on. I thought you were going to pull this out, but Minnesota Vikings, man, they are undefeated right now. Who had the Minnesota Vikings undefeated besides maybe the governor, Vince Wright, and that's his team. Look, they keep finding a way to win. Sam Darnold, man, this dude looks like he has not found the fountain of youth, but figured it out, right? Figured it out. Sometimes it takes a while, for this team, but I got to give props to Kevin O'Connell as well, is that when Kirk Cousins left, obviously they needed a quarterback. I thought that would be J.J. McCarthy at some point. I still thought Sam Darnold was going to start and J.J. would play at some point. But at this point right now, J.J. probably won't sniff the field anytime soon, which is not bad. But the Minnesota Vikings, man, getting Aaron Jones after they moved on from Alexander Madison and others. You still got J.J., over there, but Addison and Naylor and Chandler and TJ Hawkinson is not there, but this defense is flying around, and I got to give props, man. This dude has to be one of the smartest people in the NFL, and that's Stephon Gilmore. When he signed with the Vikings, I was like, what is he doing? He knew exactly what he was doing. So he has been a key piece to that defense, and they are rolling right now. They are rolling, and they're a team that everybody got to look out for. Now, we had a crazy game with Baltimore and Cincinnati, right? That was going back and forth and back. All you want, anything that you wanted happened in that game. And a lot of people have been talking about, kind of who lost this game, who won this game. It's a bunch of factors, I would say, in that matchup as I was watching that game. Amazing play by Lamar Jackson. The stiff arm a defensive end twice on the same play and then throw that touchdown pass that he did. But Derrick Henry, it seems like Baltimore forgot that they would run the ball, but they ran the ball in overtime. Joe Burrow playing out of his mind, with what 4 or 5 touchdowns, if I remember correctly. But this wasn't a defensive, matchup, because this has been their bugaboo for both sides of the Ravens losing leads, but also getting scored on, and also the Bengals. This was who was going to make the least amount of mistakes, and it was only going to take one. And look, the Bengals had this game with the opportunity. I'm not going to say McPherson would have made that field goal, but it was a botched snap that gave Lamar and them the opportunity to jump in, and they jumped right over it. Joe Burrow did throw a costly interception. Jamar Chase was talking about he had to do better, I think, on that route as well. So there's some minor things on there, but the Ravens were 0-2. They're 3-2 right now, and they're leading the division. And we're probably going to forget how they started out the season at this point. Obviously, it is not how you start, it's how you finish. But this team, how they have started, has been a big, big, big focal point. The San Francisco 49ers are 2-3, ladies and gentlemen. They got 2 games, and I know Mo is on his way. They got 2 games that they've blown leads, double-digit leads. They blew a lead to the Los Angeles Rams. They blew a lead, and I'm surprised I don't see Mo yet. Maybe he's just waiting for me to finish. They blew a lead this week to the Arizona Cardinals, and this was a home game, for them. And this is what I was talking about, and this is not a knock on the San Francisco 49ers. I said this, I picked the Rams to win this division. Mo wasn't here, so he probably got something to say about that, but I picked the Rams to win this division. And the reason I said that is because for the 49ers, people, and Kyle Shanahan said it himself, this is not an easy season. As you have that success, to me, it gets tougher and tougher and tougher every single year. And they've dealt with some injuries. They've dealt with some things that aren't, the quote unquote San Francisco kind of way that they would do things. And look, you're getting everybody's best game. Minnesota had their number last year. They lost again to Minnesota, but to lose 2 divisional games, that's got to hurt. But this is a team who has, besides Kansas City, I think they've played the most games in the past 3, 4, 5 years. So I just think this is taking a toll on them and everything. And you're missing CMC and other things, but it's still time. I'm just saying it's not going to be as easy as it previously,
You
or the way they
hadn't
made
spoke
it
on
look
what's going
easy.
on.
Here we go.
You hadn't spoke to the problem. Okay, all right.
Okay,
Listen, it's easy for me to say, okay, we'll be fine, relax, calm down. We got players coming back.
but you don't believe that.
But I don't believe that. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because our defense is the problem. Believe it or not. Our defense it's the problem, and it's becoming a bigger problem. I don't like what the
I
coordinator's
agree.
doing, but I trust that defensive room. So, hopefully they'll pull it together. But without Christian McCaffrey
Yeah.
and the schedule that we have coming up, because we're 2-3 right now. We got the
Right.
Seahawks. I think we got Kansas City, and then the Cowboys. And if the Cowboys can figure this thing out in the next few weeks, that game may be a problem. And we can't afford to lose 2 out of the next 3 games. Really can't afford to lose. We definitely can't afford to lose to Seattle because they're kind of running away with the division right now. But I don't
And that's
know,
3
man.
division loss too.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we come on. We can't moonwalk into the playoffs. I mean, at this point, I'm good with that. Let's just get there. But it's time to panic. I think it's time to panic. It's time to
And
panic because we ain't even talked about Jake Moody going down, and I mean the most important players on the team, in my opinion, are your backup quarterback and your kicker. Those 2 positions right there got to be on point. And right now we're struggling. What you doing research on over there? Look like you researching something.
because you said something about defense, and that's as far as like the defense is not what they once were. So I wanted to check something, and I'm looking at it right now. Is that you got when you played Minnesota, you're over I think 125, 130 30 yards that they rushed for. We know James. I think Connor went for over 100 yards. Just this last game, if I remember correctly. I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at the Rams right now. Kyron Williams, 89 yards, but 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. So yeah, they are. This defense is not feared like they once
No,
were.
it's not. And
Um,
they figuring out our offense, man. I mean, what right now our offense ain't our offense because we missing the key piece. But ain't nobody scared of us right now, man. Teams coming in looking at us, hey, okay, this would be a good win, on our schedule. And we feel like we can do it. And that's what you starting to see. Come on, man. Kyler Murray, you see what he did yesterday? You see that boy? I didn't even know he was that fast. I knew he was fast, but he looked funny running.
you
Just
got them
straight
little
up like
feet.
that. I'm
You
like,
got
man,
their
come
little
on, man.
stride.
Man,
He
if y'all
moving.
don't knock his lights out, man.
Yeah.
But
Y'all got Y'all got Seattle Monday
right.
night. I mean
Mm-hmm.
Thursday
Yeah.
night. You got
Short
the
week.
Chiefs after that, and you got the Cowboys. You go on the bye, and then you got the Bucks, Seattle, and the Packers. The next
We
3
got a
after
tough
that.
schedule, man. We got a tough schedule. Our schedule look like the South Carolina Gamecock schedule, man. It's rough.
Whoa,
But we
whoa,
gotta figure it out, bro. Come on, man.
whoa.
Gamecocks
Uh,
got the toughest schedule
uh,
in college. We'll get to that.
I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
go
all
there.
right, whatever. But at the end of the day, do I think we'll get to the playoffs? And I hate that I even had to say that, but yeah, I do. We get to the playoffs, and once we get there, hopefully we healthy. Everybody got their rhythm. Brandon Ayuk looked like he's starting to pull it together. Trent Williams been kind of quiet, but hopefully they got him on some kind of diet to get him right. And whatever going on with Jake Moody and that ankle or foot, whatever his problem is, get it fixed or go find us a kicker. And I think we'll
Do
be all
y'all
right.
win the division?
No, we're a
Okay,
wild
you're
card
not even
team. We're
not
a
worried
wild
about
card team this year. Yeah, we're a wild
it. Okay,
card team.
all right.
I don't
You,
think we win
you
that division, though.
All right, you're not delusional, so I like that. I like that. I mean, you still could change it around, but you're not delusional like some fan bases out there. We're not going to say any names, but you know who we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But I mean, you spoke on it already, man. You starting to see this. The NFL look completely different from last year, and
yeah,
that's
totally
weird to
different.
me. So we
And
get to the
you,
playoffs, I think we'll be fine.
okay, all right,
So
all right. Well, appreciate it. Well, enough NFL talk.
so
Let team that is looking to make the playoffs, and they're still in the running right now. but they took a big L, if you will, pun intended. But let's get into some college football. So college football, right? We had 7 teams in the top 25 go down. You had UNLV, Louisville, USC, my Michigan Wolverines, Missouri, Tennessee, but by far the biggest L that was taken this past weekend was by Alabama losing to Vanderbilt 40-35, right? Uh this is very interesting because now I haven't heard this question, and maybe I'm just out of the loop, but now the question is going to be, I think some of this is going to be looked at the coach, at DeBoer, because we already know people are going to say Saban would have never lost to Vanderbilt. They've had games that they've lost, lost to teams and everything, but they've had games that they've been in trouble, but they've always been able to figure it out. This game against Vanderbilt just felt and looked different. Vanderbilt had an answer. Vanderbilt didn't play scared. Vanderbilt didn't say, let's just try and drag this thing out and maybe we can, maybe the clock will run out. No, no. When Alabama went on their run and they came down and they scored, and Vanderbilt had to get something to clock the ball or to run the clock out, they got it. This kid, Diego, and why am I forgetting his last name? I think it's I'm not saying it right. And Mo, if you know it, and I want to be respectful to this kid, because I've seen him play before, but let me be respectful. I do not want to do that to this kid.
Pavia, something like that.
Pavia, yeah, Diego Pavia, that's his name. Diego Pavia. He got he got a lot of onions. I've seen him play before, for Vanderbilt, and it's something to be said, with this. I mean, NIU, beating Notre Dame was something, and I thought that was probably going to be the win of the year that we're going to be talking about a team taking down a big time school. But this program, Vanderbilt beating Alabama, which Vanderbilt, it was always looked at as, oh, we got Vanderbilt, easy win, right? Even Nick Saban was just talking about before the game about how Vanderbilt should be an easy win. So that doesn't happen. I think this is one of the things that DeBoer is going to have to, deal with, because Alabama fans are not happy right now, right? The NCAA is not happy right now. TV is not happy right now, right? It's one game. We've seen them lose one game before and they turn it around. So let's not trip, but this could come back and bite them in the butt, down the road, because now you have to go perfect. Yeah, you have to go flawless to not run into maybe, a team that you would have seen in the later rounds. I get it that there's 12 teams now, so Alabama's going to make the playoffs. But I think it's just going to be a little bit harder because I don't see. Look, I'm just going to say it. I don't see Ohio State losing at this current point, unless something changed drastically with Penn State or Michigan. I don't see Texas losing. Miami could, Oregon possibly, but Alabama, this just more than anything, this is a bad loss. But shouts out to the Commodores, man, because one, they did what they were supposed to do, but then two, after the game, Mo, I ain't never seen anybody take the goalpost. I've seen them take it down and say, we're going to go party, but not take the goalpost with us and then throw it in the river. And now, I don't know if you've seen this, Mo, they even got stuff that they took and they selling it online.
Mm-hmm.
Pylons, helmets, and pieces of the goalpost and all this stuff.
They celebrated the way they were supposed to. I mean, they done something they hadn't done in a long time. But back up,
I
man.
can't knock them.
Back up though, because did I hear you say Alabama in trouble when it come down to making the playoffs?
No, I said Alabama's in trouble. As far the way I look at it is that you get that one of those top seeds. They could have been one, or maybe two. I think if they
Mm-hmm.
lose at like at the very end, the lowest that they drop is two or three. I'm saying if now that cushion that you had to lose in one game, if you lose two games, you start getting put in that middle of the pack, right? And then you run into a team that you wouldn't have ran into until later. It's my fear for
Who if you Alabama, who are you afraid of running into? You already beat Georgia. You know what I'm saying?
Texas. I wouldn't say
Because
all is well with Georgia. The way they let Georgia get back into that game after dominating that first half,
mm-hmm.
Georgia is not a dub. I'm not putting the
because
dub on Georgia if Alabama goes against Georgia. Like I said, Texas. Uh, I would even say Ohio State at this point. So those are three teams
uh,
that could give Alabama, a problem. And let's look,
and vice
remember,
versa. I mean, they got to play them anyway. They're gonna have to run through that type of talent anyway. Have you seen Vanderbilt's schedule? Because the Vanderbilt they got a lot of teams on their schedule throughout the rest of the year that if they win one of those games or like you got Texas, you got LSU, you got Tennessee. Let them win one of those games or play all of those teams tough that affect the
you,
rankings. Alabama, I
you talking
think they'll
about
be fine.
you talking about Vanderbilt?
Right. They got a
Uh
tough schedule. They got a lot of opportunities. I'm gonna put it like that. They got a lot of
yeah, I would
opportunities on their schedule. And if they win, if they show up, then that look good for Bama. It's like, okay, we can just get beat by a team that's just, that's
right,
politics.
but but the reality of that, I'm not saying that it's not possible, but the reality of it is that you could have a major letdown next week. We've seen this. You have those big
Oh,
wins
no
like
doubt.
that,
No doubt.
and and next week it's just like there's no way we should be losing, to this team, and they do. And I'm trying to find Alabama's schedule because they are um actually and we even got the ranking. So Alabama, I think, sits, where did Alabama sit? Ninth or 10th or something like that. What you got on there? Seventh. So Alabama's sitting at seventh. Here's their schedule that I'm looking at. They got your Gamecocks next week.
That's an L for
So
Bama.
so they gonna be trying to prove a point on that. They're playing at home. Then you got Tennessee, who just lost as well. They're gonna be trying to prove something. You got Missouri, who's gonna be trying to prove something. You got LSU, and then you got Mercer, Oklahoma, and do not rule out Auburn,
No.
because that matchup in itself, you never can count Auburn out in that matchup. So I'm just saying this
That's
loss.
gonna be fun to watch.
It is. It's gonna be real interesting. But they could slip up somewhere in there. I was giving them one loss to one of these other teams, just not Vanderbilt. So, but props to Vanderbilt, man. And if you're trying to buy a goalpost, man, go online. They selling, pieces of it. But Mo, I'm gonna tell you, the only person that I feel sorry for, at this point, is the person that got the phone call that said, you know what, there's a goalpost in the river and we need you to go get it out. So whoever that person is that has to do that, that's the person I feel sorry for.
You know
But
who I
other than
feel
that,
sorry for?
who?
I feel sorry for my South Carolina Gamecocks because Alabama got a lot of stress to take out on them, man. That's gonna be a rough game, but it's gonna be fun to watch Alabama the next few weeks because they about to play the two teams, the only two other teams in the top 15 that lost, Tennessee
Yeah,
and Missouri. So
Tennessee, Missouri. Yeah. And
yeah, that's
LSU,
gonna
I
be
think,
fun to
is in
watch.
there. LSU is 13. So,
hmm So yeah,
all
we'll
right.
see what happens.
Yeah. Props again to Vanderbilt, man. Let's move on. Let's get back into the NFL trade news, right? Trade news. Where is he going? Where is he at? Where are he going to be? What is he, thinking, and all this stuff? And what are they thinking? Devante Adams, right? So we all know Devante Adams did not play this past week due to a hamstring injury. And he is also in search of a new team. So the report is that the Raiders are looking to grant him that permission and send him somewhere. So art thou, where could Devante Adams end up? So you already know about the Jets. You already know about the Saints. You know why? Because of the relationship between Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr. Those are his previous quarterbacks in college, pro, and pros, right? So I get the Jets. Someone brought up a really good point, when it comes to the Jets, is that how long is Aaron going to be there? Because if you're trading, you're going to take Devante's contract. I think his contract is another 2 years. Is Aaron going to play, another 2 years? After that, I don't know. If he goes to New Orleans, uh, that would be, that would be something to really think about because Derek Carr's not going anywhere. You pair him with an Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, and Rashid Shaheed um, on that team. That's a nice little wide receiver group and a nice little team. And we know, New Orleans is kind of nasty on the defensive end as well. People have said to Kansas City Chiefs, stop talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. Please stop mentioning them because to me, that would if you trade him in division to a franchise that you completely hate, and then some form of a way that the Kansas City Chiefs go on to win a third Super Bowl, I don't think Raider fans will ever let management live that down. You know, you despise that team enough to be like, no, you can't have ain't nothing unless they go and it's not gonna happen unless you're gonna give them Pat Mahomes. There is no way you're getting Devante Adams in a Chiefs jersey. That's just my thought about it. You had the Steelers, right? Possibly they were making a strong push for Brandon Ayuk, and Brandon Ayuk just didn't really want to go there. I think he was just using Pittsburgh as leverage so he could stay in San Francisco. But yeah, that's okay. But then you still kind of got this thing that we just recently saw on Sunday night, with the quarterback situation. I think for him, it's just like it really wants to have a solid foundation, for a quarterback. So the Jets and the Saints, I think, are the front runners, for this. You have who else? They will throw Dallas out of there. Dallas said they're not going to do anything, which I'm not surprised because they haven't did anything to try and help their team out as of recent. So Buffalo Bills. Now you know what? Buffalo is interesting. Buffalo is interesting. Throw out the Ravens. I don't think he, pops up there. Josh Allen with a guy like Devante Adams, I think takes Buffalo to another level. The only thing that I'm worried about is that if they go back to a situation where Josh feel like I gotta force feed, Devontae, or what's gonna happen if I don't, feed him the ball, and they try too hard to make it work because although they're 3-2, they're still, in the mix, and they're a pretty good team, without him. So I would say, Baltimore, Buffalo, you got to throw in there, but uh, if I had to pick, I say he end up with the Saints, right? That's just my gut feeling. I could be wrong about that because the Raiders want to have the best deal possible on it. Mo,
I agree with you. Devontae with the Saints, I think you are, and I'm gonna jump out there. That's an immediate Super Bowl contender at that point. So I like that look. I like that move. I like Derek Carr. I like what the Saints are doing. Let me ask you a question though. Let's say he ended up at the Steelers. Devontae
mm-hmm.
go to Pittsburgh. Do you have to now start Russell Wilson? I mean, do you have to bench?
you got
Because
you got to do one
go
or two things. You got to
okay.
do one or two things. Either you start Russell Wilson, or you start game planning to let Justin Field throw the ball more and trust that he's not going to turn the ball over. You got to do that.
Because I feel like to
And
me, if you bringing in Devontae, that's almost a all or nothing move right there. It's like we making a move for right now. But I mean, of course, what's the biggest problem in Pittsburgh? He don't got no offense, right? And I
right,
get it with Justin Fields. You got to figure out if he's the future, and which I think he is. But right now, you got Devontae, and you probably could lose him depending on how the next season or two go because the contract ain't for so long. Hey, Russ, we got you here. Can you do it again?
I think it depends on what Arthur Smith is going to do. I
Okay.
we saw what Arthur Smith did in Tennessee as a OC. Now he had Derrick Henry, that was back there running the ball. It's a little bit different, when you have someone of that stature, right? He gets to Atlanta, uh, doesn't pan out, the same way. And no way am I comparing Justin Fields to Desmond Ritter or Taylor Heineke or anything like that. But I mean, as far as the quarterback situation, it just hasn't been too great, for Arthur Smith. So
Mm-hmm.
again, I go back. If you're gonna play, if you get Devante, then you got to take the reins off of Justin and let him throw a little bit more. I
Yeah.
think Pittsburgh has been able to work with him to try and keep himself out of certain situations that he probably would have gotten himself in Chicago. And he knows I don't have to, necessarily always try and make that throw because I have that defense.
Right.
But to and we don't know what you get Russell out there. He ain't played, and
Mm-mm.
you don't know what's gonna happen. I do say if they get Devante, you stay with Justin, see what happens, and then if you need to put Russ in there, then you put Russ in there, the wily veteran.
I agree, but I still like New Orleans more than Buffalo. I feel like you feel strong about Buffalo, but we'll see
Yeah,
what happens with the
I
kids,
think New
man.
Orleans. I think New Orleans, and then Buffalo. But all right, this is the good part, Mo.
I'm gonna stick around.
Is it really? We're talking about the finale to Power, and we've gone through 4 seasons and it's all over. And if you haven't seen it, then you might want to go to something else right now because I'm going to spoil it for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of spoilers about to come up.
Yeah. But here's what I'm going to say. The first thing I'm going to say, I expected more in this last
Really?
episode. I was a bit disappointed with a few things, right? Um, I thought we were going to get more answers to a lot of stuff, and I guess maybe they're leaving that out there to kind of build off of whatever is the next thing that they're going to do. But I'll start with Carter, right? Y'all talk all this stuff about popping Carter. You get the opportunity in what episode 9? You're talking, he take the gun from you.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're trying to figure out stuff because Carter's just telling you all this stuff. And your solution was to get a little bit less dirty cop to arrest an even dirtier cop. I'm gonna take you in. I'm taking money. I'm taking money off the top, and I'm not turning it in. But I ain't no cop killer. I'm not a cop
Yeah,
killer though.
that was lame. That
I'm
was lame.
like, no, man. You know what I would have rather? I would have rather. I would have rather if that they could have still arrested him, but I would have rather if Lorenz Tate had found out.
That's what I was waiting to happen. I'm like, okay, where Big Bro at? You know,
Yeah,
and he's supposed to be the first call you make, and Tariq, you supposed to be smart enough to use that because he even mentioned it and when he was talking to what's Method Man Davis, he mentioned it when he
yeah,
was talking to Davis. He's like, listen, man, you know he gonna want this. You know Tate gonna want to know what's up. Pick up the
yeah,
phone, call him, and just get diabolical, man. It's the season finale, man. He's
yeah.
been
We
your
want to
your
see
biggest
Odo.
tyrant since you've been, since this series been on.
Yeah, we wanted Old Dog from Minister Society. That's
Mm-hmm.
what we would have got.
Exactly.
Like, dang, right? Another thing I
But
didn't get. Y'all been after Noma and all this stuff. Diana, the first person you gonna shoot is Ayana. That had nothing to do with it. I understand you wanted her to feel the pain, but
yeah.
now I'm thinking, is Diana turning into Monet?
Oh, absolutely. You seen how they
But
set
she
that up.
wanted, but she wanted out of the game.
She lost
Now,
she
now,
lost too
now,
much now. She ain't got nothing
now
but the
you
game left.
now you 10 toes down. And then Drew just said, "Nah, I'm going to Paris." I did,
I knew that was gonna happen. I knew that was gonna happen.
but I ain't seen Drew turn in no paperwork all season. I know he was working on some stuff. Don't get me wrong. I know he
Mm-hmm.
was working on some stuff. He had brought up Paris before and everything, but he just said, "Man," Drew said, "Man, forget this, man. Y'all got me
He'll
messed
be
up."
back in New York. He'll be back in New York. He'll be
You know
back in
who
New
else?
York.
You know who else? I was like, "Come on, man. I don't want to say it, but I gotta say it, Mo.
Go ahead.
Man, Effie is the new James Evans, man. Every time she get ready to get out, something happens
She
to
get
pull
pulled
her
back
right back
in.
in.
She get pulled back in. She could have walked.
She could have
She could have
walked.
walked. She could have walked. I mean, I'm gonna let you finish, and because I'm upset about a lot of stuff. But go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, I don't know. Kane got some money somewhere. We've seen him store money. Like he ain't got no
Yeah,
money. Like
yeah.
I
He offered
but
to pay to get her out the game at one point.
yeah. And I think probably the last thing, and don't get me wrong, I still enjoy watching it. It's just some things I would have wanted to know where, what's the real status of Lauren. Maybe we'll find out, down the road. But I didn't like the standing in front of the hot dog stand and taking a call. Like I know the drama, like who's on the other line,
Mm-hmm.
what's gonna happen, and I am intrigued. I want to know
Oh,
what's
you
gonna
already
happen.
know who that was. You know who
So
that was.
overall, I don't. Someone told me. You tell me who you think was on the other line.
It was Tommy. I think it was
So
Tommy. It
you
had to be.
okay?
It had to be.
That's what somebody else said. Homeboy of mine, he said it was Tommy. So okay, but I can't wait for what they're going to follow this up with and come up with,
So
next. But
the way I see it, you got Power Book Force, which is Tommy's storyline, right?
yeah, he better not go to
They
Chicago.
listen. That series, as far as a fan perspective, the critics go, it's probably the worst. As far as the critics go, probably the worst in the whole Power universe. So they finna revive it, reboot it,
I
and you're gonna
like
start
for
seeing a lot of Tariq storylines play out up in Chicago or Tommy coming to New York or whatever, because you still got too many loose ends, right? We ain't
but
seen the
Tommy
last of
can't come
Tasha.
back to New York.
Why he can't come back to New York?
He's supposed to be dead. Remember?
Man, listen, this is TV, bro.
Okay.
Jelani, you got a trust fund kid that's been a dope boy for 4 years. Why is Tariq even selling dope? Why he even in the game?
I haven't
Come on,
figured
man.
that part
And then your
out.
homeboy Brandon, who come from everything. Why they in the game? You got these kids. Come on, man. This ain't realistic. So Tommy can definitely. They'll figure out how to get him back to New York.
And
They'll
nobody
figure out how to get
respects
him back to New
Brandon.
York. If he ain't got no business hustling. I mean, come on, go off and do something with your life like Drew did. Drew, I mean, I got to give him more props than anybody for just saying,
Mm,
you know what, I'm gonna walk away, because Kane coming back. People love him. They got to get
yeah,
him back on the screen. He
they
coming
got to.
back. But I'm gonna
Got
tell
to.
you though, I love the fact that Diana shot. What's the girl's name? Noma's
I
daughter.
am.
I like that. You know what? You done put us through so much. You got to live with this pain. I wish Kane wouldn't have shot her. Let her live with that.
I'm about to
Let her
say
live
she
with
ain't
that.
lived too long with it.
Nah, she.
She ain't
I
lived
don't
too
know.
long.
That was probably the stupidest thing Kane could have done. Like, come on, bro. I
No,
mean,
actually,
get
but
her another day, man. Get her another
oh,
day.
you know what? But they wouldn't have caught her. They wouldn't have caught back up with her, man. She was gone after that.
Nah.
I mean,
When
there was
the
no.
minute
there-
her daughter got shot, she wanted revenge. She'll find you. She'll be
well,
back.
that's not what you want. You don't want it to. You don't want her looking for you. You want to be the
If
hunter,
that's your
not the
only play,
hunted.
if that's all you got, then but you can't just take jail. I mean, I mean, come on, man.
I got
You
one
gonna
last
do a
question.
bid for this? Go ahead.
Tariq just showing up to Noma's brother and just like, yeah, I'll take over and I'll just do everything.
Come on, bro. It don't work like that.
I'm like, why would her brother trust you?
Right.
They know he knows you have some dealings with it. You may not, because he never really just saw Tariq with them or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. But you have some sort of a relationship, with the Tejadas, right? So why would
Right.
he even entertain anybody that got anything to do, with it? But Tariq
Especially
got him. He
considering
got him. He got him with his key line that he gets with everybody. You know what that is?
which was that.
Tyree tell everybody this. I'm gonna double your profit. And then they be like, what? And then
Bro, come on, man. Nah, bro. You gotta show
they
me
just
some
like,
papers.
okay.
You gotta prove that. But that threw me off, especially considering her brother didn't even want to deal with America, right? He didn't even want
Yes.
to deal with America. But all of a sudden it's a million Tariqs in New York, but the one that just caused you all this headache, now you're gonna do business with him, right? You ain't got ain't nothing in your heart that say, you know what? Dealing with you, I just lost my sister, I just lost my niece. So since you right here, go and take this bullet. Go and take this bullet. We'll find another way to do business. We'll be fine without you. But I mean, you got to keep the storyline going. So I think
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah.
see next season. You're gonna see Tariq. Well, next season of Force, you're gonna see Tariq. You're gonna see Tasha. You're gonna see some more Davis because he gets stuff done. He the new what was the lawyer's name in the original Power?
Oh yeah, I just
He
remembered.
used to play Turtle on
Turtle.
on Entourage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he the knew him, right? And I don't think we seen. I mean, of course, we ain't seen the end of Kane. But yeah, it's about to be a
And
trip.
I
I'm
think
curious to see what they do with this season.
I think they owe Method Man like 5 more love scenes. So yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
Nah,
He ain't
yeah, he put that in his contract. He don't work that out. He don't work that out. It was
uh,
extremely Hollywood, but I was entertained, man.
yeah. I enjoyed it. So
It didn't
I'm
feel
just
like a finale.
yeah, it didn't feel like a finale. That's what I'm getting at. So for the people at Power, don't think we're not hating or anything like that. Just it was just not what I kind of expected the ending
Mm-hmm.
to be like. But I am very interested in seeing where the story goes, and I'll be tuning in whenever that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got 2 weeks, right? Is it this
2 weeks into
weekend?
what? BMF
Force. No,
Force?
Force. Force is
Oh
next. Yeah,
yeah, maybe
I
yeah.
think it's
I
about.
guess
I think
so.
it's about
Yeah,
2 weeks.
I can't wait to follow up with that. So yeah. All right. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Like I said at the beginning, man, we'll continue to put out this content. Put your comments, anything that you got, share, and we'll continue to put this stuff out there in the air. So for your man, Jelani JB Bodie and Big Mo, he's back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to holler at y'all later. Y'all be good out there. And you know what? I haven't said my signature line in a long time. So I'm going to say it right now. 2 things as always. Stay positive and push forward. And we'll holler at y'all later. Peace.